everybody, welcome to my channel as the Garden Turns. So today is Sunday and I'm going to be doing a really nice crispy skinned pork roast. So first what we want to do is you want to clean your roast off, and you need a roast with a nice amount of skin like this. And then what I did was I just towel dried this, so it's extremely dry. You want to make sure that it is dry, completely dry. All right, so next we're going to put together our dry rub for our meat. Okay, and so I'm going to I don't measure out a lot of my stuff. I just do it by eye. So I'm just going to do this, and then sorry guys, I'll just give you sort of like a estimate of what I'm adding into the bowl, and then we're just going to season our roast. Okay, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon of black pepper, some Green Goddess seasoning, maybe half a teaspoon, about a teaspoon, or no, 2 teaspoons of paprika. All right, a little bit of onion salt, half a teaspoon. Did I already put in? I think I just put onion salt. No, I didn't. I put Green Goddess. Okay. And then we want some lemon pepper, about a half a teaspoon. We want about a teaspoon garlic powder, teaspoon of celery seed, about a half a teaspoon of Creole seasoning, and about a half teaspoon of the 21 seasoning salute. Mix that up here. And then also I have some beef bouillon. I don't have any pork, so I'm going to put in, that's 1 tablespoon, about 2 tablespoons of beef bouillon. And I'm going to mix this up with my fingers. All right, then we want to bring back our roast. And you just want to dust your seasoning mix over the roast. Do not get it on your skin. You want to try to cover that as best as possible. Okay. All right, now let's get some apple cider vinegar. Probably about 1/4 of a cup. I'm gonna add some black pepper, some of my Green Goddess seasoning, and a little dash of salt. And then I'm gonna brush this onto my pork skin. And then it's going to go into our oven. And I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. You want to stir this up, and then you want to brush your pork skin with the vinegar. And then this should give our pork skin a nice flavor as well, with the pepper, salt, and the Green Goddess seasoning. And then we're going to pull this out in intervals and baste our pork skin here so we can get some crispy, delicious pork skin. All right, so we're gonna throw this in the oven and let it slow roast. All right, I'll see y'all when we are ready to baste this bad boy again. All right, this is gonna be our Sunday crispy skinned pork roast. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna baste again with the vinegar solution. All right, throw this back in the oven. All right, I'm basting it again. This is my 4th time basting it. And I can see that it is starting to look crispy on the outside. So that's a good thing. And then I cut my oven up to 375 degrees now. And this is at the halfway point. This is almost done. All right. So this is going to go back into the oven for probably another hour or so. All right, my husband has our vegetables for the evening. You want to tell him what you're doing?
Yeah, so we got leeks and cauliflower. So I basically took a head of cauliflower, broke it down into these bite-sized pieces. I took my leeks and I cut them into like little thin rings, just the bottom part, not the leaves. Okay, so I got them thin cut in there. I put maybe 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and then I'm gonna do some salt, fresh. I'm gonna do some fresh cracked black pepper, just to taste, just to cover them, and some fresh ground sea salt, and maybe just a little Elia and Oleo seasoning. Did you want anything else on them? Okay, so there you go. Gonna throw them right in the oven. It's gonna be basic and delicious.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna make a really quick grits. I'm doing a cheesy grit casserole here. So you need 2 1/4 cup of whole milk. I already have 2 1/4 cup of water in here. You need 1 teaspoon of salt. Let me get the top on this. One teaspoon of garlic powder. It's just the rest of whatever's in here. And then we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to add our grits. All right, now you're going to need 1 cup of grits, and you want to whisk these in. So go ahead and pour it in. And then you also need 2 eggs. You want to whisk those with about 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. And then my husband cut the cheese, not in that way, you know what I'm saying, cut the cheese. But we have 8 ounces of sharp cheddar and 8 ounces of Velveeta. And once it starts to thicken up, I'm going to start to whisk those in as well. Let me reduce my heat here. I don't want to get burnt by hot grits. Was one of the singers burnt by hot grits or something? Like Al Green? Yeah. I know he hollered. Notice I said hollered. Because I mean like woo-woo, like Tomcat off Tom and Jerry. I can't do that. What did he used to be like? Yo, woo-woo-woo. Yeah. Woo-woo-woo-woo. Or whatever he used to do. I know he hollered like a mug. That was calculated. Like that was calculated. She was like, if I put that on him, grits don't come off, baby. Yeah. Woo. Boy, y'all better be nice to them women out there. Be nice to ladies. Be nice to the men too. You know, be nice. Be nice to each other. But I'm gonna let this heat up, and then we're going to put in the cheese. All right, now you want to add 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna whisk this in, and then we're gonna start adding the cheese because, as you can see, the grits are starting to thicken. So I'm going to add some of the cheddar and some of the, you know what, let's just add it all and then just whisk it all in. How'd that sound? What? Okay. All right, so we're going to get this whisked in, and then we're going to let this cool a little bit, and then we're going to whisk in the eggs, and then this is going to go in our oven for about 45 minutes at 375 degrees. All right, so I have my egg here and some of the grits, and I'm going to combine these two to temper them a little bit. Now we're going to whisk it back into And now I'm going to pour this into my greased pan here. I may switch pans just so that this can, because this is a low pan, I'm going to switch pans. And then I'm going to put this in the oven for about 45 minutes. Put it in a thinner pan than the one I chose here. All right. Okay, I'm putting this in this pan here. All right, I got 2 of these, so. All right, our cheesy baked grits are out of the oven. It looks delicious. And then now we're gonna pull out our roast. Let me get these out of the way. Okay, here it is. Oh yeah, that look good, don't it? All right, let's see if the skin is crispy. Grab a knife here. Let's see. Yep. Wow. All right, I'm gonna let this rest for a couple minutes and then we are going to serve dinner. All right, we're gonna serve up dinner. My husband is gonna cut the roast.
You want some fat in there, right?
It's hot.
So I cut across here.
Yeah, cut the other side where it's really, really nice. Is it crispy?
Yes, very crispy. All right. Turn that off. That. Some meat.
All right, so we're going to stretch this meat here into a bunch of meals. So you probably want to stay tuned to my channel as the garden turns to see what else we're going to do with this wonderful crispy pork roast. So you're going to put a little bit of roast on your plate.
Meat. And a little of that.
Dry rub.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to get some of these vegetables. Let me get over this way. And then that way I can have this where they can see it. All right, we got some vegetables here. And then we got some of our grits. Cheesy grits. Look at that. All right. All right, y'all. This is what we are having for dinner tonight. And then this is what we are having for dessert tonight. These are my homemade nectarine mini gooey butter cakes. St. Louis original. All right, so you see what we're going to be eating on tonight. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe as the garden turns.